Welcome to the What to Play podcast. We are your hosts, Jacob and Lucas. Lucas, how is your day going?
I'm good. How about you?
Busy. We are doing a mock draft. The mock draft is mostly we got into a point of the year where there's very little news and we're just trying to
Yeah.
fill some time. That's
Yeah.
basically what everyone's done for the last month. Fill time and let's make sure it works. So we have said offline, and we will say it here, you get to your pick in like a normal draft, we want to give a reason for why this team chose this player. So Lucas will go first. Lucas, you on the clock.
I'm on the clock. Okay.
You're on the clock. Let's go. Let's not take
So,
also as long as the first round takes in a normal draft, where it takes like 12
yeah,
minutes.
exactly. Yeah, the draft is a 4 or 5 hour affair, so let's not
For
do that.
first round. That's just
Oh
first
yeah.
round.
Yeah, just first round. Yeah, if you're counting every round, I don't even know. That's like a day long. But I'll go first. So Chicago Bears are on the clock
Yes.
and they're gonna pick Caleb Williams. I feel like this one's pretty obvious. So clearly, with Justin Fields being traded, Caleb Williams being the quarterback one in the draft, it's a pretty easy fit. I also want to talk here and say how this is a good fit for Caleb Williams. Not even just the Bears; they have a lot of weapons. They have they've put weapons around him. Um, this is not a bad football team in the slightest. So I think for Caleb Williams, this is actually a really good landing spot. This is not like other quarterbacks where it's like career suicide for them to go to a team, that got the number one pick, kind of like last year with Bryce Young. So I actually like this pick for the Bears, and yeah, so Caleb Williams to the Bears.
Before I go to Washington, I do agree with that. That's a very fitted team offensively. I just think if you want to win, you got to do it now. Let's prove it. We can do it now. And this is their last shot. They haven't had a great young quarterback in a while, so let's see what they do. Uh,
Yep.
Washington for the Washington Commanders. I was like, maybe they'll trade down. No, they're gonna take Jaden Daniels, and the reason they'll take Jaden Daniels is because the Commanders, they're all over the place. I think they've talked to Drake May, Jaden Daniels, J.J. McCarthy. So, and I believe also Michael Penix. But Jaden Daniels, I think, fits what they like to do. They want to be able to run around. It gives them a little more fluctuation with the offense. And similar, this is a rebuilding team. But as if you can perform, because you've lost a lot of key pieces over the last year, this at least allows you to say, okay, if he's not ready year one, it's fine. Year two, he'll be ready. We have 5 years to work this. That's my reason of taking a Jaden Daniels at 2 rather than going to a prospect that would immediately be ready with a team that's not very good.
Okay. Going for the third pick. Patriots are on the clock. So I think the Patriots are in a situation where we're definitely going quarterback. We're not going to go Marvin Harrison Jr. As much as I would like that, we need a quarterback. We need to fill that position. And there's going to be no better time for us to do it than this draft. So because you picked Janny Daniels, I'm going to go Drake May. And I actually like Drake May as a prospect more than Jaden Daniels. So I'm happy that you took him at 2 for Washington. Listen, Drake May, I like him as a prospect, and I like him as a fit more for New England than Jaden Daniels, just by the way he plays. But yeah, this is pretty clear cut. So whoever the Commanders pick, um, the Patriots are going to pick who's available. So, and that's Drake May. So I'm happy with that pick, especially as a Patriots fan.
All right, moving on to the Arizona Cardinals at pick 4. They're taking Maserati Marvin Harrison out of Michigan. This just fits them. This is a perfect fit. You say, okay, we're keeping Kyler. They've they have not hid this at all, by the way. They've said if we're keeping Kyler. So I think that was pretty much it. They need wide receivers to get rid of Hollywood Brown. You've tried to find that next Larry Fitzgerald kind of guy. This guy's it. He's
Yep.
gets open. He has good hands. He's got good speed. He's not gonna. He has very good. I call it contortionism because he can contort his body at very weird angles and still make a play. And like even the best team in the nation and against when he was Michigan. I think I said he was from Michigan. I meant Ohio State. My bad. Don't destroy me on Twitter. He was getting
On
open against
X.
that team. So it's like that's it. Like if he can do that, he can do this.
Yep.
And I think Kyler fits him actually really well. I think that would be a great pairing, but I'm taking Marvin Harrison at 4.
Yep. That's a great pick. All right, so we're going 5. So 5 is the Chargers. So we haven't said if this is allowed, but I'm gonna make a trade. Um,
Okay.
and I think I'm just gonna. I mean, I don't care about the details. It's just the Chargers will get the Vikings first round pick. We'll just
Okay.
in their second. I think they have 2 first round picks. Am I correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so we'll do that. And we'll just have to remember when we get there because we could have been more
Yeah, let
organized.
me look
But
at my notes here. Can just continue talking. I'll look at my notes and make sure.
yeah.
Let's
So
see.
uh, I'm gonna have the Vikings trade up for JJ McCarthy. I think everyone's doing this, but I think it's what's gonna happen. I think he's a great fit for the Vikings. Um, and I mean, for the Chargers, they're really in a spot to trade down in this position. They could go receiver, they could go tight ends, they could go Brock Bowers, but I think it makes more sense for them to trade down and just accumulate picks, being that they have so many needs, and the Vikings could really use a quarterback. And I don't think McCarthy's going to be there if they sit. So I think this is a good move for the Vikings to move up and take McCarthy at 5.
The Vikings have pick 11. That's
Okay,
their
so
first pick of the first round. So,
that's Chargers now.
okay. So I'll switch that over. But I honestly thought like JJ because I was like, okay, if the Giants are at 6, they'll take JJ McCarthy if he's there. That's just the seemingly like a giant move kind of thing that they'll do. But
Yep.
now that the Giants aren't there, they're going to take Malik Neighbors, the kid out of LSU. I think he's just they have no weapons. They really have nothing. You got to go wide receiver. I was like, maybe if they get JJ McCarthy, they will wait. But since he's gone off the board, Malik Neighbors is the pick. Fast
Okay.
guy, good hands, moves very well.
All right.
That's a solid pick for the Giants. So
That's a good pick for the Giants, and I think it's also a good pick because I mean this is really Daniel Jones' prove it year. You got a guy. You can't say that you don't have anyone. So even though you lost Saquon, Malik Neighbors is a great talent. In most drafts, he would be the number 1 overall receiver. It's just this draft happens to have Marvin Harrison Jr., but that's a great pick for the Giants at 6. Going to 7 for the Titans, I would have them pick Joe Alt out of Notre Dame. I think this is a good pick for them. They really need to fill a hole in that O line, and they've actually done a lot in the offseason, surprisingly, to patch up their team. So I'm a big fan of this pick at 7.
I actually had him going to Tennessee as well. Actually, I was like, he's gonna fall to 7, and Tennessee's gonna take him, and then Joe Alt, Peter Skoronski are gonna be on the same team for the next year. and I'm like, that's a great pick. Lucas, you're on mute, just to let you know. There you
Oh,
go.
okay.
Atlanta Falcons. I was going back and forth about this. I thought maybe they'll go Dallas Turner. Maybe they'll go out of Alabama. But I went with Jazon Newton, the kid out of Illinois. It's interesting to watch him play. He's big, but he moves very well. And I haven't watched a whole lot of Illinois tape, but I can tell you this: he's got power to him. He moves very well. My only concern is doing this would be like now we're putting him and Grady Jarrett on the same side. That's a little iffy for me, but I think that's where they'll go. With a new coach and Raheem Morris, I think they're going defense early.
Okay, just give me one moment.
Understand why.
Okay, sorry. So
Sorry.
we're on pick 9, right?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm sorry. Who did you pick again at pick 8 for Atlanta?
I took Jazon Newton, the kid of Illinois, will go to Atlanta,
Okay.
the defensive lineman out of Illinois.
So all right. So we're going pick 9, Chicago Bears. They can really do a lot here. Especially, I mean, they already got Caleb Williams at this point, so they can go multiple different avenues. But I'm going to go Rome Odunze here at pick 9. I think give Caleb Williams all the help that he can get. We've seen so many times in years past with teams that have drafted a quarterback. Look at Bryce Young as the newest example. You just don't give them anyone, and you need to give your young quarterbacks talent. So I just give them who you can. Get Rome Odunze here, shore up that receiving core, and give Caleb Williams someone to throw the ball to.
Pick 10, the New York Jets. This one is very interesting because I had them taking Roman Duzier. But they're going to take another wide receiver. They're going to take Brian Thomas Jr., the kid out of LSU. Freak of nature. This guy is tall and he can run. If I remember, he's like 6'4". He's like 240 pounds, and the dude runs like he's 5'8", 180. The guy just
Mm-hmm.
goes. And I like if he honestly, we have so many like great like talent at wide receiver this year.
Yeah.
He's easily would be the second best receiver in the draft, in any draft. Easily. He's tall, he's long, and he runs. That's like the team's best nightmare that you would want on your side on any circumstance. What do the Jets need? They need someone that can run, they need someone who is fast, and they need someone that's big. This works. I like this pick.
Okay. So we're at 11, right?
Yes, so that would be now the Chargers.
Okay. Okay. So Chargers at 11. I think this is Brock Bowers. He might be one of the best players in this draft, and I think getting to trade down and getting to still pick him at 11 is one of the best moves that the Chargers front office could make in this draft. And I think it will happen just because there are so many playmakers on every side of the ball, at almost every position, that a player like Brock Bowers, who would normally go in the top 5, has an opportunity to slip out of the top 10. And if you're the Chargers, I would take the risk of trading down like they did with Vikings and pick up Brock Bowers, give Justin Herbert someone to throw the ball to. So I think this is a great pick for them.
All right, pick number 12, the Denver Broncos would be at this pick, but I am going to trade this pick, actually. I'm
Okay.
trading it down. The Colts will get at 15 will trade up to 11, and the
12.
Broncos at 12. Oh, and the Broncos at 12 will trade down with the Colts from 12 to 15.
Okay.
The Colts will take Terrion Arnold, the cornerback out of Alabama. Great inside outside flex. He can play slot, he can play outside, he can play complete inside. He's tall and he's lanky. He's got good footwork. They put him on, you know how they do the simulcast at the combine? And
Yeah.
it's just like you watch this guy, you're like, him and Nate Wiggins are easily the two best corners in the draft, and Nate Wiggins might even fall out of the top 30. That's how good this class is in terms of offensive linemen. But
Hmm.
Terrion Arnold, I think he fits what the Colts want to do, and the Colts will trade up to get him at pick 12.
Okay. So we're going to pick 13 then. It's the Vegas Raiders. I'm going to go Michael Penix. I know they have Gardner Minshew. I know that I'm pretty sure they have Jarrett Stidham. But I mean that's simply not going to be the answer. And the fact that you have Devontae Adams on your team, you got to give someone to throw the ball to Devontae Adams. And I mean Minshew's a great backup. Don't get me wrong, and he's an okay enough starter. But give someone that will give your team a chance. If you can be somewhat competitive as a Raiders team, and then Michael Penix comes out and starts playing great ball, you can make some noise in the playoffs. So I think this would be a great pick, great value at 13. So I'm going to go Michael Penix.
It's a great pick. Saints are at 14. They're going offensive line. Probably the best tackle, in my opinion, is Talise Fuaga, the kid out of Oregon State. He's Fuaga is it's so interesting to watch him play. He's big and he moves so quickly. He can play tackle, he could play guard. The issue with the Saints has been their offensive line. That's really been the issue since Drew Brees has left. They can't run the ball very well. At times they are decent, but Fuaga I think is the route they'll go at pick 14.
Okay. So pick 15. This is the Broncos. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to go Bo Nix. Got rid of Russell Wilson. Yeah, you're going to go quarterback here. And I think they would have went Bo Nix regardless if Michael Penix was on the board. I like this move for the Broncos. Give them someone at quarterback. Give Sean Payton someone that he can mold into the quarterback that he wants, because clearly Russell Wilson was not his guy. I think you're not going to get amazing top tier talent here. I mean, not to say that Bo Nix is a bad quarterback, but don't expect like Caleb Williams levels of like an immediate impact. But I think Bo Nix is a good prospect to go here at 15.
So just before we continue on here, you have 4 quarterbacks going in the top 15,
Yeah.
if that sounds right.
Yeah.
Also, Bo Nix is
5.
5. That's right, 5. I forgot about Jaden Daniels. Bo Nix is also the oldest quarterback. He's 24 right now. To put that in
Yeah.
perspective, Trey Lance has been in the NFL for 4 years now. He's 23. Going to be 24 after the draft.
Wow.
And moving on to pick 16, the Seattle Seahawks. They're going to go down to UCLA and take. Hopefully I pronounced this name right. This name is very hard to say. Laiatu Latu, the kid out of UCLA. Medically retired, had medical issues, but when he's on the field and he played last year, he actually played really well. The medicals have to check out, but I think he fits what Mike McDonald wants to do. It's in my best comp for him would be Jadeveon Clowney. He's basically Jadeveon Clowney who's thinner. He plays a great edge. He knows how to get to the quarterback. He makes a lot of great tackles. He fits what they want to do. I think he goes to Seattle.
Okay. So pick 17. I want to ask, who was the corner again that you picked earlier in the draft?
Uh, did I pick a corner?
I'm pretty sure you did. Forget who it was for.
Oh, Terry Arnold.
Okay. So at pick 17, the reason why I ask is because I'm going to go corner as well, and I'm going to go Quinion Mitchell to the Jags. Um, I think they're going to go corner. So I think it's who's best best available, and the fact that you picked Terrion Arnold. I just kind of plug and play Quinion Mitchell to that spot.
All right, it's Cincinnati. They'll go corner here actually because they lost Chidobe Awuzie. They're gonna go Cooper DeJean out of. I want to make sure I get this right here. Let me see if I can find where's Cooper. Oh, out of Iowa. This is the one guy. It's like he's got good hands. He runs very well. Um, I just I thought he would be the I to what a lot of people say how Quinion Mitchell will make it be the first corner. I think it's going to be Cooper DeJean. I honestly think it'll be him. He'll just
Mm-hmm.
be there, plug and play guy. He's actually really good at like tackling, which a lot of corners don't want to do. So I think he fits actually what Cincinnati wants to do. Maybe a little lax in coverage at times, but makes big plays. I think he falls to Cincinnati.
Okay. Going to the Rams at 19. Um,
Well, first off, before you take that choice, this is the first time the Rams have had a first round pick in 7 years.
yeah, it's felt like a long time. All those
It's
trades that
forever,
they
but
made.
go ahead.
I want to say we haven't picked Dallas Turner yet. Am I correct?
No,
It's a crime that Dallas Turner hasn't been picked yet in this draft. I'm going to pick him at
that is
19.
a crime.
This might be one of
What?
the only mocks where he goes 19, but we're doing it. So Dallas Turner is going to go 19. Um, they lost Aaron Donald. They got to get some sort of pass rush back, and this is actually a great scenario for the Rams to get a top 10 player like Dallas Turner. I know in a lot of mocks he's going into the top 10, so getting him at 19 is tremendous value, especially like you said, a first round pick, the first one they've had in 7 years. So I think Dallas Turner, best player available at a position in need. I think he just makes sense here.
Next up, Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers for years have had offensive line issues. They go offensive line here. I hope I pronounced his name right. This is a very hard name to say. Olanu Fashanu, the kid of Penn State.
Honestly,
It's
I'm
hard.
happy you picked him, Jacob, because I would have had just as hard of a time to say that name.
This kid, it's remarkable how good he's big. Like there's so many tackles in this class, and he might be the best tackle.
Yeah.
Like his arm length, he has a little bit of short arms compared to like Amarius Mims, and he doesn't move as well as like a Troy Fatanu. But this just feels like a Pittsburgh pick. This guy, you can plug him in at tackle, and he fixes your tackle issues. He can he has good feet. At times he does struggle a little bit with his hand placement, but you can easily fix that. And I think that's if you want to have a young quarterback play and Justin Fields, you want an older quarterback and Russell Wilson, this is your guy you go get. And he'll be at pick 20, potentially the best tackle in the draft. Take it. Let's go.
All right. So Dolphins at 21. So
Yeah.
right here, I'm going to go Graham Barton, who's interior offensive lineman out of Duke. Listen, the Dolphins had an all right free agency. They had a lot of key losses, regardless of who they gained. This shores up some of the interior offensive line, which is where they've had issues in the past. And I mean, this is good. Just as I said before, just plug and play. Graham Barton, I think he's just a good player, and I think he goes to a good team here in Miami.
Barton also played tackle at Duke. Has very small arms, so probably won't play tackle. Could play guard or as center. Very versatile. Has good feet. A pick I would have had for the Dolphins would have been Byron Murphy. I think
Mm.
him without Christian Wilkins, you fill that need very easily. Um, Moving on to the Philadelphia Eagles. And as I see this is actually not gonna. I'm not going with that pick. Let's see. Where do I go? Because they're not gonna go offensive linemen. They just showed up the whole offensive line. Um, no, actually, no. I will. I will. Let's do it. They'll take. This is a little bit of a jump, but it's family genetics. They'll take Jeremiah Trotter, the linebacker out of Clemson, who is the son of former Eagles Jeremiah Trotter. They have linebacker issues. When Zach Cunningham's your best linebacker last year, followed by Nicholas Morrow, that's not a great choice. And I just think they'll go linebacker here. They break the streak of going Georgia. Go Georgia or Alabama. They break that streak. I think they've drafted 24 players from Georgia the last 2 years. So they break that
Mm-hmm.
streak, take Trotter out of Clemson.
So I'm gonna also. I wanted to add that with the trade that the Vikings made, I'm gonna make pick 23 the. I want to say it was the Chargers that I made the trade with originally.
Yes.
So I'm gonna have them have this pick as well. Um,
Okay.
Due to the fact, well, we already picked Brock Bowers here, and due to the fact that Brian Thomas rather, um, is already off the board, I'm gonna go Adonai Mitchell. I think that's how you say his first name.
I did
Um,
not. I did not.
so they already went tight end here, but I mean, you look at the key pieces that the Chargers have lost throughout free agency. So many. They lost Mike Williams. They thought he was going to sign back at a cheaper deal. Didn't happen. Traded Keenan Allen. I'm pretty sure they lost Gerald Everett. So getting Brock Bowers is awesome there, but they need more talent. And I think going receiver here, they probably would have rathered a Brian Thomas if he was available, but the fact that he's not, we're going to go with Mitchell here.
All right. Pick 24. I'm actually going to trade. The Cowboys are trading down. They'll trade down to 28 with the Bills. So the Bills will trade up to 24. And the reason they will trade up to 24 is they need wide receiver help. They're going to take a chance on this kid. The other Texas boy, Xavier Worthy, the guy can fly. You watched that Texas team last year, and I like Adonai Mitchell, and I think he's the better of the two. But Worthy can fly down the field. It's like watching a track team play. This Bills team, they need wide receiver help, but they need speed. They have no speed. Mitchell will give that to the Chargers, but Worthy can absolutely move, and he'll be a great pick for Buffalo.
So you got Buffalo trading up to 24.
Yeah, they'll trade up. They'll
Okay.
trade with Dallas in the fourth, fifth round.
Okay. So are you okay with that as a Cowboys fan?
I am because I do think they can still get the player they want
Okay.
at 28,
Okay. So at
and to give him
25. Yep.
yeah.
Okay.
So pick
Um,
25 is with the Packers.
Yep. And I'm gonna go tackle. I'm gonna go. You haven't picked J.C. Lantham, right?
No.
I'm gonna go him at 25. Um, some protection for Jordan Love, some protection, um, in general would be great for them, and I think they need to bolster. They lost Bakhtiari, am I correct?
Yes. They lost Bakhtiari. They lost I hope I pronounced his name right. Najim Alari. Think it's how it's said. He was like the backup tackle. So I do have him going tackle as well.
Okay, that's it for 25.
All right, pick 26, Tampa Bay. Um, I honestly, if I let me make sure I have this. Yeah, they're gonna go. This is the most Tampa Bay pick because I can't believe he's still on there. They're gonna go Jared Verse, the kid out of Florida State. He's probably the one of the best hand in the dirt defensive ends in the league. He's he moves very well. Honestly, the only thing that would make his game even better because he's got good power. If he doesn't have to have his hand in the dirt, but that's his style. I think pairing him with Vita Vea, that allows you to have an opportunity, and Jared Verse being there bolsters that Tampa Bay Buccaneers defensive line.
All right. So we got the Cardinals at 27.
Yes.
All right. So I'm gonna go Cardinals at 27. That they're gonna go Byron Murphy, tackle out of Texas, D tackle. They need some interior defensive line help, and to get one of the best inside pass rushers in the draft at 27. And like we've been saying this whole podcast, just going. Um, this draft is stacked at so many positions that you have talents like Byron Murphy, for example, that would go much sooner in drafts of the past. To go here at 27 is a steal for the Cardinals, so I like that pick for them.
Okay, pick 28. This is what Dallas got. They'll take Jackson Powers Johnson at the center out of Oregon. Smart guy, calls all the plays. The only two concerns of him, injury issues, and the Oregon offense was not a very high profile offense. They threw very short stuff, allowed their guys to just make yards after the catch. But he gave up no sacks last year. I think he gave up one hurry the whole year. But he's had hip issues, concussion issues, and a shoulder issue, which is the reason he slipped. But there's not a lot of centers in this draft either. But
Yeah.
Powers Johnson falls to Dallas.
So how excited on a scale of 1 to 10 are you getting him at 28?
Oh, I would be ecstatic. That fixes your issue. And with they could have gone Marius Mims there. They could have gone Troy Fatanu there, who had Fatanu has some tackle guard flex, but Powers Johnson being there gives you such an advantage. And to fall at 28 and still get like picks later in the draft, that's a great pick by the Cowboys.
All right. I think 29, the Lions, that they definitely need some help at corner. I'm going to go Kool Aid McKinstry out of Alabama. It's tough because Detroit, they could go a few ways, but I think they could use some outside corner help. Probably.
Yeah. We lost Lucas for a second. Let's see if I can get him back. Hold on a second. I find a case study for OD. An OD? All right, so I'll finish it up here as Lucas had to get out quickly. We were at pick 29, which is the Detroit Lions. It goes to Zach Frazier. This is the most Detroit Lions Dan pick ever. I'm going to give you the reason for this pick. Zach Frazier broke his leg in a bowl game this year. Drags his leg. Literally, he breaks his leg. Instead of having the team call timeout, he crawls off the field. Then goes 3 or 4 months later after breaking his leg and doing combine workouts. And tested great. And I was like, he's not supposed to be able to do this at all. This is the most pure football player you can find. And there you go. He goes to Detroit. Pick 30, the Baltimore Ravens. They will take Armarius Mims, the tackle out of Georgia. The only thing about Mims that's an issue is he's raw play. He's very raw. He hasn't played a whole lot. He's like 267 snaps. Had a tightrope surgery in his ankle. Banged up. So Mims falls to Baltimore. Next up is San Francisco. San Francisco, they go offensive line. They go Troy Fautanu, the kid at TCU. Tackle guard flex. Plays very well. Moves his feet very well. They were worried about his arm length. He's fine. He actually can play tackle guard. Fautanu falls to San Francisco, pick 31. And final pick is Kansas City. Kansas City will take a chance here. They'll take Tyler Guyton out of Oklahoma. Guyton concerns me. Times he looks like he has his feet in cement. He can't he can't lift up his feet all the time. He's only plays right tackle. You're having him play left tackle for Donovan Smith. Guyton falls to Kansas City. Hand placement is pretty good. Looks like sometimes he gets stuck and doesn't continue on. But do you rather have him or Donovan Smith? I think the Chiefs roll the dice with Tyler Guyton. And that's the first round of our mock draft. Um, Maybe in the future we decide to go into a 7 round mock draft. Not this year, of course, as the draft's a week away. But maybe next year we do a 7 round mock draft and just see what happens. You get your first 4 rounds, and then you're throwing darts at a board. But I enjoyed this. I know Lucas did as well. We will see you guys next time on the What Up podcast. Peace.